now, it's time for the award-winning PC game reviews by GameSHOUT. The GameSHOUT PC game reviews.
Welcome back to GameSHOUT Radio. This is Captain Maverick. I am your host for the PC Playground. And we got a lot of fun ahead. Whoa! Excuse me. Yes, that was the wrong one.
That's what you get for fooling around.
Well, yeah, what you get for a short break. See, there you go. We got a lot of fun ahead. We just got done talking about Battlefield 2, Euroforce, and American Conquest Divided Nation, and those are great. You can catch that and all of our reviews and previews right on GameSHOUT.com. We have ahead our preview of Battlefield 2 Armored Fury. Remember I said it's 2 boosters? Well, we got 2 previews for you. And then Josh is going to bring us his review of GT Legends. Nothing better than a race game and Josh. Well, Godfather has finally set a date. In our top story tonight, in their latest release, EA has announced a release date for the PC, PlayStation 2, and Xbox versions of The Godfather. The current generation platform releases will get March 21 release date, while the Xbox 360 and PSP versions are going to get a little bit longer, sometime later in 2006, a little unspecified yet. In the last 2 months, gamers worldwide will step into the Don's dangerous world of intimidation and negotiation by way of their PlayStation 2 computer entertainment system, their Xbox video game system, and of course, their PC. Yeah, Godfather the game is also going to be available for the 360. The EA's Godfather, it's basically, the game puts you in the center of one of the world's most revered stories, in a role of a young man just entering the Corleone family. And you create your own mob character, and you work your way to the top. And for the first time ever, you're going to go beyond the films and what the book actually did and step into the living world of the Godfather fiction throughout the 40s in New York City. And you're going to be able to work your way up through the mob ranks your own way, choosing just how much force you want to use and what you're going to do to rise to power. You get to relive the classic moments from the fiction and experience the open world gameplay alongside unforgettable characters in the film, such as Luca Brasi, Sonny, Tom Hagen, and of course, Don Vito Corleone.
What did I ever do to earn such disrespect? Huh?
Now with that, let's jump on over to our preview with TrickNeal and Battlefield 2 Armor Fury.
That's right, just like the Euro Assault, Armored Fury is another expansion pack coming out for Battlefield 2. And this one's not going to be coming out until March 28th, so we got a little bit longer to wait for this one. And just like a little bit longer, we got a little bit less detail on what's coming out with this one. But there are a few things that sound pretty cool. First of all, there's going to be 2 new vehicle classes that are getting introduced. Attack jets, which are going to be able to use rocket pods and cluster bombs, totally cool, lots of mass destruction, and scout choppers, which this sounds the coolest to me because what they are is they're helicopters that will actually pick up enemies walking around on the way I'm picturing it is going to be like a moving UAV on your radar, which will be totally awesome because I get so sick of that UAV running out of gas and then I have no idea where anybody is. Now, you're also going to get 3 new maps, and here's what's cool about the maps. They're all set on American soil. First of all, you've got Midnight Sun, which is like on the Alaskan border, and it's going to be the Chinese trying to evade up there. Next one you got is Operation Harvest, which This is the way they word it. It takes players to the vast open plains of Pennsylvania. And I'm from Pennsylvania. There's not really a lot of vast open plains since we've got a big, huge set of mountains running right through the state. So I'm not really sure exactly how that's going to look, but they're definitely saying you're going to need a lot of air skill and armor skill to rule on that one. And then the final one, which sounds really awesome, Operation Road Rage, which is like an all-out tank battle on the highways. That just sounds really awesome. Now, there's not a lot of specs out on what is actually going to be included. There's some pictures out there of some of the new the attack jets and the chopper, and the only thing that I've caught on it is something about an A-10. I'm not familiar with military vehicles, but it sounds like it's a cool thing. I'm not sure. What I have been noticing...
Let me tell you...
Go right ahead.
The A-10 Warthog is a tank buster aircraft. It's built heavy and built so that it can withstand a lot of shot from below. But when it opens up on that 30 millimeter gun, it will just absolutely rip a tank wide open.
And that's what we're looking for Armored Fury. Well, we definitely want to up the armored battle. You know, we want it to be a lot more intense, I think. Now, some of the comments that I was noticing on some forums about this, there are people that are kind of upset with this booster pack because a lot of these vehicles have been showing up in previous Battlefield games. So a lot of the users are I don't want to say whining, but they're definitely complaining that they're actually having to pay to get these vehicles in Battlefield 2 when they've already paid to have them or had them for free in previous versions of the game. But for me, I've played Battlefield 2 only. I haven't played any of the previous ones. I'm definitely going to shell out the $10 to pick this up because I want as much as I can for this game. This game is like taken over my life. I just got into this game like 2 weeks ago, and I'm just in love with it. I can't stop playing it, and I'm going to get every single booster pack that comes out, and I can't wait to see more about it. But I think
he's playing on our clan server all the time too, spending as much time as he can on the clan server. That's very, and you see, we spend so much time doing video game reviews, we can never get enough time to play our own games.
Yeah, my goal is to make Sergeant by the end of February. But we got to take a quick break now. We'll be back with a little bit more of PC Playground after this.
You're listening to GameSHOUT Radio. We sure have come a long way from actually dialing a number on the phone. You can even play games on your mobile phone in this new age. And hey, what better way to know about new mobile games than with GameSHOUT's Pocket Players Mobile Edition mini podcast? Hear the latest and greatest innovations in mobile technology and games. Find out how these mobile games fare before you go out and buy them. Learn about new games on their way to the mobile scene. You can hear all about the games, news, previews, and reviews that matter from the only gaming site that really matters. GameSHOUT.com.
Welcome back to GameSHOUT Radio. This is Captain Maverick, and you are listening to the PC Playground. You're in the right place for all the games that really matter, only on GameSHOUT. Well, we're going to jump right into SexyJosh's review of GT Legends for the PC. Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, GT Legends. Now, some of you may remember a while back I did a little review for GTR, FIA Racing. Now, that was a game from a little company named Simbin. Basically, a bunch of mod developers that got so sick of the offerings in the racing community that they decided to say, you know what, screw that, let's go make our own racing game. And they did. And that was GTR. And GTR was a very finely tuned, well-done game with a little bit of a problem on the side of the multiplayer. It's one of the most beautiful racing games of 2005 to boot. Well, now they've decided to come up with their own little, I guess, sequel of sorts called GT Legends. Now, you take GTR, you up the graphical quality, you throw it back in the 60s and 70s style era of racing and cars, and basically you've come up with what you have here. It's GT Legends. Overall, the gameplay is, for the most part, somewhat similar. The physics and the realism are still, again, top-notch. These guys go all out trying to get the best racing sim to date. I mean, it feels like you're driving some of these cars like the Mini Cooper, the Alfa Romeo GTA, the 427 Corvette. I mean, it's all there. I mean, it's all, you know, this old school style of racing, and it works so well with the physics engine that they pretty much did. There's 28 licensed cars in the game, you know, like from FIA's Vintage Touring and Grand Touring ranks, and they've been, you know, visually just reproduced stunningly. There's no other way I can put that. They're beautiful recreations of some of the greatest cars to ever hit the GT circuit. Not just the cars, but the overall game is graphically amazing. The cockpit looks very detailed, right down. I mean, if you look in the cockpits of all the cars, they're all exactly where the speedometer or the you know the engine lights and everything. That's where it all would be if this was the real car. They spent a lot of time meticulously detailing every single aspect of these cars to get them right down to, again, the physics. It's this great amalgamate of graphics and physics and gameplay that really bring this game together to be, in my opinion, right now, the best racer of 2006. It's going to be really hard for anybody to beat this game as a racing game. Not only that, I mean, there's tweaks. You know, go in the garage and tweak it up a bit. You know, you can go in to take your AC Cobra and go in and tweak it up. Your Renault Alpine. You know, it's all a lot of fun to race. Now, the other thing is you got 11 you know, European road circuits here. Again, these guys do not skip on the details. They go hardcore into it and give you the most, you know, the best recreation of these tracks ever. So you got 25 long and short variations of these courses, which give you hours of racing on all of these different tracks. On top of that, the only downfall to the game that I can, to start off saying, is the fact that there's like an arcade mode where you have to unlock the cars as you go. Now, what I liked about GTR was all the cars you had right off the bat. They were right there. You'd race any car you wanted. Now it's kind of down to the, you know, old school arcade style where it's you unlock the cars as you play along. While that is fun and it does give you a sense of accomplishment, because that's basically what GTR was lacking, it's kind of annoying because, you know, you're walking into a sim bin title going, wow, well, if this is anything like the last one, then we should have all the cars right off the bat. I want to race the Mini Cooper and the Cobra and the Renault. No, well, you know, I guess it doesn't really work that way this time around. It's still fun to play because you at least have 2 cars on the outset, but after that you ranked up enough. I mean, you'll be getting your cars sooner than you'd think. The AI is, again, some of the best I've seen in a racing game. You know, this is the type of AI that will, you know, try to not just run you off the road, but definitely get you, you know, get your blood pumping, get you in the zone, get you going. You know, this is the type that'll brake or spike its brakes in front of you, or it'll move off to the side to try and get around you. It won't just follow one simple path. It'll look at its environment and say, okay, so this guy's in front of me, let's try and get around him, or at least move around. So by far, some of the best, again, AI that I've seen in a game. Multiplayer this time around has kind of been scaled back from the 56-player version of GTR to a more scalable 16-player version of the multiplayer. And especially with all that's going on, I think it was a lot smarter decision to go 16 instead of 56, just because, you know, it's going to take a lot of bandwidth just to play that. So this time around, the multiplayer works a lot better than it did in GTR. They definitely, you know, put their heads together and said, okay, we got to make a better multiplayer, and they did. And the only other problem that I have to say about the game is that, you know, the weather. You know, there's really not much weather effects, so you don't really get to drive the stuff on water. Nor is the damage modeling, you know, that really, well, it's not really there at all. I mean, I guess when it comes to details, you can't quite convince the owners of all these cars that they model them after to crash their car in a crash test dummy style race. But I mean, overall, the only other downside that I have to think that I could say about this game is that to get the fullness of this game, it's going to take quite a high-end PC. But other than that, I have to say that GT Legends is one of the greatest racing games to date, and it will be my pick for Racing of the Year. I have to give this game a 9.1 out of 10. And that's all the time we have for PC Playground, guys. Stick around because we got the MMO show right after this.
This is GameSHOUT Radio, the #1 talk game station in the world. Visit GameSHOUT.com for more info. GameSHOUT. GameSHOUT.